Interesting. I'll leave it at that. Tucker Carlson story. So he was interviewing this business partner, Tony Bobulinski of the Biden crime family. And Bobulinski had a bunch of documents about their shady dealings, the Biden family, with others. So these documents got shipped out from New York to LA and they mysteriously disappeared. The update, UPS has since found the package. So we will see what's in there. Washington Examiner, UPS found Tucker Carlson's documents relating to Biden that vanished in the system. Interesting. I'll leave it at that. It's a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory. It actually got lost, and now we found them. Fascinating, though, how that seemed. I've never lost anything with UPS ever. I wonder how that happens all the time. All right, moving on. I told you I wasn't going to waste a lot of time because we do have a lot to get to Friday. I have to clean up some of the messes from earlier in the week from the stuff I missed and didn't get to. So I told you the story was going to get worse. The Blaze launched another bombshell last night in this case. Apparently, I got this from Steve Deace over there. Fascinating story at the Blaze about Hunter Biden, the Hunter Biden case. This is one of those. You ever see you all on social media, Parler, Twitter, Twitch, whatever it may be, and they have these things like, you think things can't get worse? Hold my beer. It will. Here we go with the Biden case. Source: Hunter Biden's gun was taken by Haley Biden in 2018, thrown into a supermarket garbage can, went missing, and no arrests were made. The source also states the Secret Service and ATF visited the shop where Hunter Biden purchased the gun prior to a report being filed. Folks, listen, on a serious note, this is apparently a very disturbed individual, this Hunter Biden. Now, his father's running for president. He has profited off of his family name while his father was vice president. He is absolutely fair game in this. Don't mistake my sympathy for someone who is clearly in a bevy of issues he can't seem to find his way out of. Don't mistake that for any kind of an eagerness to make this story go away. The story is absolutely fair game. If it was my family, it'd be all over the front page of the Daily News. But the story goes like this. For those of you who don't know the background here, it's a little disturbing. Beau Biden, who is the other son of Joe Biden, died tragically from, I believe he had brain cancer. It was a sad story. So Beau Biden's former wife, because he deceased, then struck up a relationship with Hunter. I'm not even getting into that. Apparently, I don't know, something goes bad here, whatever it may be. Hunter Biden has a firearm in the car. Haley Biden, who we're talking about there, takes the firearm out of the car. Who knows why? I mean, this is just bizarre on top of bizarre. Throws the firearm allegedly in a garbage can, according to this report. They go back later. Hunter apparently tells Haley, go get that firearm. You can't do that. The firearm's not there. ATF, apparently Secret Service gets involved. Folks, I don't want to spend a lot of time on the personal nonsense. It's their business wheeling and dealings that bother me, because there could be a blackmail file overseas with enemies of the United States, including Russia and China, who have a blackmail file probably this thick on the Biden family, and the godfather, Joe Biden, could be the president of the United States. But this personal stuff, ladies and gentlemen, tells a different story. Rudy Giuliani said, there's a different angle I want to take. It's not to pile on Hunter Biden. This guy's clearly a disturbed person. Rudy Giuliani brought this up in my interview with him. Joe listened to it. You remember when he said this, Joe? Giuliani brought up this point that what kind of a guy is Joe Biden? Knowing now what we know, given these stories and this reporting and the history of drug use and the discharge from the military, the sex videos on the laptop he turned over. We have the receipt. Paula was kind enough to produce the laptop receipt, printed a copy of it. What kind of a guy do you have to be to take one of your kids who you know is deeply troubled, drug problems and otherwise, no one questions that, and then make him the breadwinner in an influence operation and put him at the forefront of an operation where foreign nationals and enemies of the United States are trying to buy influence in the United States? What kind of a guy are you? Rudy brought this up. What kind of a father is that? You see, Ryan, of course, because you have a son. You know exactly what to do.
Right.
Thank God you got, he's got a great kid, Joe, Semper Fi, Marine, good man. But God forbid one of our kids, I've got 2 daughters, had an intense drug problem, is out there getting discharged from the military, is in relationships you're like, nobody gets. and you say to him, hey, I think it's a good idea that you represent the family in a deal with the communist Chinese, with a company connected to the Chinese intelligence, according to reporting, Chinese intelligence apparatus. Why don't you go do that, Hunter? Giuliani brought that up. He's like, what kind of a guy does that? You put him in, first you get him in rehab or something, and then you put him in kind of a low-stress job for a little while he gets his sea legs under him. You don't stick him out in foreign countries running around the world being paid off by Burisma and the Chinese. What kind of a guy is this, Joe Biden? That's the reason I talk about it. It's not to pile on this guy. Believe me, there is this, no matter how bad the politics in the country gets, I will never be talked out of the sympathy bone because, listen, I understand. I've had people in my own family with issues with drugs. It's not a laughing matter. It's nothing to be made fun of. The problem is this individual with a drug problem was the vice president's son and was made the top of the totem pole in their business where they're going out around the world running a foreign operation doing business with enemies of the United States. Joe Biden's to blame as much as Hunter.
Yep.
My gosh, who throws a gun in a garbage can? If that report is correct, folks, this again is another example of the problems Hunter had and the depravity of Joe hiding all this and putting his son as the forefront of his business operation overseas. It's really disturbing, ladies and gentlemen. The whole story is troubling. All right, let me move on. We've covered this week. I just listen, the election's on Tuesday. There's no more time here. You need to have an exhaustive understanding of who Donald Trump and his family are and who Joe Biden and his family are, because that's what's coming up. They've both of them, to be fair, have intertwined their families with their politics. I believe Trump for the better. Don Jr., Eric, Laura, Tiffany, Ivanka, Jared, they go out there and campaign for him. So in some respects, the family's fair game. Well, Joe Biden's done the same. He's made his son, unfortunately, part of a business he's clearly involved in, despite his lies. They're fair game. Simple as that.
You just heard Dan Bongino.